Therefore, by default, everyone is connected to each other on a spiritual plane, isn't it? Although many of us are meeting for the first time, that too online, not even direct in person, still, all of us are related to each other. Do you have any doubts about it? You're all children of Krishna, you're all servants of Krishna, you're all devotees of Krishna, right? I am also Jiva, who is an Amsha of Krishna. So, what is the connection between one child of God and another child of God, right? They both are like children of the same father, right? So, all of us are children of the same father. Therefore, naturally, we are related to each other on a spiritual plane. We have a connection with each other. We have a relationship with each other. And that relationship is eternal. Okay, we are all connected to each other on a spiritual plane. We may not have a blood relation, biological relation. Some of you may be born in Delhi or some are in Punjab. I am from South India, right? So geographically, there is a difference. Biologically, there is a difference. But spiritually, we are all children of the same God, servants of the same Lord. Okay. So Arjuna was in bodily conception at this moment. Because Arjuna is an eternal associate of Krishna, thus there is no bodily conception for him. But in this current context, Krishna purposely kept Arjuna in confusion, in bewilderment, so that we get to hear Bhagavad Gita through him. Right? Swajanam hi katham hatva, how can we kill our own relatives? Sukhinaha Shyama Madhava. Okay, after killing the relatives, how can we stay sukhi, means stay happy. Now, he's saying Swajana we should not kill. But one who is not a relative, you can kill? What basis is this? What logic is that? Right? So Prabhupada questions that logic. You are not killing your children, but you are killing the children of some animals and eating their flesh. How is it justified? You're killing some innocent goats or hen or chicken, whatever, and eating their flesh. Is it justified? Are they not praja? Are they not children of the Lord? Right? How can you eat their flesh? So these are one who is on a spiritual path, one who has spiritual realization. He or she does not consider any living being as disconnected from oneself. There's a natural connection between all living beings. And what is the connection based on? Krishna. Krishna is the basis of connection. On a tree, there may be hundreds and thousands of leaves. All of them are connected to each other, related to each other through the tree. Tree is the connection. Now, one leaf may be on one branch on this side of the tree, and another leaf is another branch on the other side of the tree. And there is at least some 100 meters distance between these two leaves. Once these two leaves thought that, oh, because of this tree we are not connected to each other. We are separated because of the tree only. So let's get disconnected from this tree and come together. So both the leaves fell down from the tree, came together, embraced each other, and stayed for some time. And these two green leaves became yellow after some time. And later they became brown and they become powder, right? So they remain fresh and healthy and happy as long as they're connected to the tree. But they wanted to disconnect from the tree to stay together, they were destroyed. Similarly, we can stay happy and healthy on a spiritual plane as long as we are connected to Krishna. You may be doing some other service, I may be doing some other service. We may be at different geographical locations, but still we are connected to each other with Krishna at the center. Prabhupada said, one day Prabhupada was leaving one place and going to another place. One devotee asked, Prabhupada, will be missing you. You are not with us. Prabhupada said, you chant Hare Krishna here, I will chant Hare Krishna there, we are together. Okay. As long as we are following the spiritual culture, doing Shravanam and Kirtanam sincerely and worshipping the same Lord, there is a natural bonding and connection between two devotees. Right? The connection is spiritual connection, not material connection. But here Arjuna is thinking that I am connected to people through this body, and how can I kill their bodies? Okay. And Atatayana means aggressor. Who is an aggressor? There are 6 kinds of aggressors. One who gives poison, one who sets fire to house, one who attacks with weapons, one who plunders one's riches, one who occupies others' lands, one who kidnaps one's wife. These are the 6 kinds of aggressors. And the Kauravas, Duryodhana and party, have committed all these offenses towards the Pandavas. From all 6 perspectives, they are meant to be killed. But Arjuna says, no, we should not kill. We should not kill them. So, because if we kill them, we become sinful. There is no sin in killing a sinful person. But Arjuna is thinking that it will be sin because they are our relatives. These greedy people, they don't see any fault in killing relatives, but we see fault in killing relatives. So I don't want to kill them. Okay, that is his conclusion. So next shloka. Yadyapyete na pashyanti lobhopahata chetasaha kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam katham na neyam asmabhihi papat asman nivartitam kulakshaya kritam dosham prapasyadbhir janardana. So he says that yadyapyete na pashyanti, although these people cannot see, lobhopahata cetasa, because their cetasa, their consciousness is stolen, apahata, by lobha, greed. Because they are so greedy for the kingdom, they cannot see. What they cannot see? They cannot see the sin of destroying a family. Kulakshaya kritam dosham. So it's a great dosha or fault when you do kulakshaya. Kula means family or a dynasty. Kshaya means when you kill some members in the family gets reduced. Right? There may be 10 people in a family, and 2 of them come for the war, to participate in the war, and these 2 people died. And the family will become 8. And other members in the family, which may be younger generation or older generation, who are dependent on the strong warrior, they become helpless because a strong member of their family are caught up in this war and they were killed in this war, and the other members of the family will not get any support. It's a sin. That's what Arjuna is saying. There is a logic in what he's saying. Drohe cha patakam. And we'll also get patakam, means sin, because of mitra droha. Mitra means friend, someone who is very close. So by killing our own relatives, we will become offenders to them and we'll get sin. Katham nagdeyam asmabhi papadasma nivartitam. After knowing that what I am doing is great sin, how can I do it? Kulakshaya kritam dosham prapasyadbhir janardana. I am able to see the kulakshaya kritam dosham. So these 2 are similar lines. Okay. So the family becomes destroyed. The main members are the active members. I would say active members of the family are getting destroyed. So how will the family survive? And that is very unpleasant. Okay. So that is the 3rd reason. He is fearful of sinful reaction. That's the 3rd reason why he said no to war. Okay. Now, there are different types of shāstras. One is Artha Shastra, that discusses about politics and sociology. And there is Dharma Shastra, that speaks about dharma, saintly behavior. This Dharma Shastra is considered superior to Artha Shastra. According to Artha Shastra, someone does a mistake, you punish him. That is Artha Shastra. But Dharma Shastra is, he did a mistake, you forgive him. That's a higher saintly behavior, right? So Arjuna is speaking on the level of Dharma Shastra and sidelining Artha Shastra, saying that I will forgive them. It seems very noble. But you see, Krishna gives another Shastra, Bhakti Shastra, in the next chapter, and establishes a higher principle than even Dharma Shastra. Forgiving an offender is great, definitely. But if that forgiveness encourages him to do more nonsensical things, better kill him. Okay. So we'll discuss that when we come to that point. So now let us go to the next reason, 4th reason, why Arjuna said, I will not fight. 4th reason. Yes, Rishabha Mitra Prabhu. Kulakshaye pranashyanti.
Lakshya pranashyanti.
Kula dharma sanatanaha.
Kula dharma sanatanaha.
Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam.
Dharme nashte kulam krishnam.
Adharmo bhivavatyutam.
Adharmo abhivatyuta.
Adharma bhivavat krishnam.
Adharma abhivat krishna.
Pradushyanti kulastriyah.
Pradusyanti kulastriyah.
Strishu dushtasu varshneya.
Trishu tushtashu vashrineya.
Jayate varnasankaraha.
Jayate varna sankara.
Kula kshaye pranasyanti. When kula becomes kshaya, means when the active members of a family are destroyed or killed, then what happens is pranashyanti kula dharmaha. Kula dharma means the general religious, or instead not religious, let us call this some spiritual practices or some kind of rituals or some kind of general pious activities performed by that kula will be stopped, because active members are no more there, and the kula dharma, sanatana, means eternal religious activities that they are doing will be discontinued. Dharme nashte kulam pritham adharmo abhibhavatyuta. When dharma goes away, adharma, when dharma is nashta, then adharma will flourish. So kula dharma is getting diminished and adharma is increasing. Okay, that's what will happen when you kill the active members of the family. Then if adharma increases, what happens? Pradushyanti kulastriyaha. The women in that family will be pradushyanti, will be polluted by unscrupulous men. Right? When a man is absent, then innocent women or simple-hearted women in that family may be exploited by unscrupulous people. Best example is Ramayana. So Lord Ramachandra was protecting Sita Devi nicely. And Ravana came and diverted Ram, and Ram ran behind the deer. And Lakshman also went behind him because Sita told him. Then Sita was alone. Then what did Ravana do? He came in the guise of a saintly Brahmana and kidnapped Sita Devi. Right? So at home, Kulakshaye, when the active members, active men are killed in the war, then what happens is at their home, the innocent women may be exploited by demoniac people or unscrupulous people like Ravana. Then Strishu Dushtasu Varshneya Jayate Varnasankaraha. When women are exploited like that, then Varnasankara are born, means unwanted progeny is generated. Fine. Next. Sankaronarakayiva kula dharmam kulasya cha kula jnanam kulasya cha patanti pitarohiyasham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. When Varna Sankara is born, means when bad children take birth through the exploitation of women, kula jnanam kulasya cha patanti pitarohiyasha. That kind of unwanted progeny will not follow rules and regulations, protocols or policies. They don't follow the rituals that are supposed to be followed by that family. And they don't offer pinda or oblations to ancestors. Okay. Lupta pindodaka kriyaha. All the pindodakas are stopped. Then ancestors also will follow. Okay. Doshairetehi kulagnana varnasankara karakaihi. So if we kill so many soldiers on the battle, their families will become so degraded and varnasankaras are born. So utsadyante jati dharmaha. Jati dharma is gone, means as a community. Kula means one individual family. Jati means the entire community. For example, there is one Brahmana family or Kshatriya family in this current context, Kshatriya family. And there is that family has certain rituals and rules and regulations and protocols and policies that they are following on a spiritual plane. But Kshatriyas as a big community, they also have some policies, right? Some rules to follow. They have certain dharmas. All the dharmas will be destroyed when the active members of the family are affected. Kula dharmascha śāstrī. Okay. So we'll be basically diminishing dharma by destroying the members of a family. There are so many harmful effects. Therefore, I will not fight. This is the fourth reason. Okay. So to summarize these 3-4 shlokas, destruction of dynasty will lead to stopping of family traditions. That will increase adharma. That will pollute women, and Varna Shankaras, spoiled children are born. And all worship and other Jati Dharma, Kula Dharma will not continue. So this is the fourth reason why he does not want to fight. Okay. Next shloka. Piyush Prabhu. Utsanna kula dharmanam. Okay. Sumitra Mataji. Utsanna kula dharmanam. Manushyanam janar.
Utsanna dharmana
Manushyanam janardana.
Manushyanam janardhana
Narake niyatam vaso.
Narake niyatam baso
Bhavati ityanushruma.
Bhavati ityanushruma.
When the family traditions are affected, the ancestors of the family will stay in Naraka. Narake niyatam vaso. Bhavati iti sushruma. I have heard like this. Anushruma. So Arjuna is speaking based on what he has heard from bona fide sources, right? So basically Arjuna said, I will not fight because of 4 reasons. First reason is he was compassionate. Secondly, he is not finding any enjoyment without relatives, even if he wins the war. And he was fearful of sinful reactions. Then he was also concerned about the destruction of family traditions. These are the 4 reasons. So that completes the chapter. So Arjuna bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but also what he has heard from bona fide sources. Okay, that we have seen now. So next, 44th shloka. Divya Leela Mataji. Aho bata mahat papam.
Aho bata mahatta papam
Kartum yavasita vayam.
kartum vyavasita vayam
Yadrajya sukha lobhena.
yadraja sukha lobhena
Hantum swajanamudyataha.
hamtum svajana udyataha.
Aho bata mahat papam. Kartum yavasita vayam. Aho means alas, how strange. We are ready to perform such deep sinful activities. For what? Rajya sukha lobhena. Rajya means kingdom, sukha means happiness of the kingdom. Lobhena means greed. We are getting greedy for the happiness of having a prosperous kingdom. And out of greed, what are we doing? Hantum, we are killing. Whom? Swajanam, our own relatives. Udyataha, we are prepared to kill them. How strange it is. So Arjuna is becoming very concerned and getting emotional. How can I kill my own relatives to enjoy kingdom at the cost of their lives? So it seems he's very noble-hearted, right? And that kind of soft heart of Arjuna made him a qualified person to hear the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, please recite. Yadi mam apratikaram.
Yadi mam apratikaram
Ashastram shastrapanayah.
ashastram shastrapanayah
Dhartarashtrarane hanyuh.
dhartarashtrarane hanyus
Tanme kshemataram bhavet.
tanme kshemataram bhavet.
Yadimam apratikaram. I think it's better for me if I just stand here ashastram without holding any weapons. Okay, ashastram shastrapaneha. I will give up my weapons. Apratikaram, I will not fight only. And dhartarashtra rane hanyuhu. Let them fight with me. Let them kill me. No problem. But I will not kill them. So better for me is to die unarmed. Without holding any weapons, I will just die. That's better for me than killing them, than being prepared to kill them. So to this degree, he was prepared. Then Sanjaya is concluding. Evam uktvarjuna sankhe rathopastha upashivashat visrujya sasharam chapam shoka samvignamanasaha. Evam uktva, by speaking like this, Arjuna rathopastha upavishat, he just sat on his chariot. Visrujya, he has given up. Sasharam chapam, he has given up bow and arrows both. And shoka samvignamanasaha, his heart is completely filled with shoka, means lamentation, right? So he kept his bow aside. So he was confused. So although Arjuna is confused and bewildered from one angle, he is soft-hearted. He has detachment. He has forgiveness. He has emotions. And he is He has intelligence also. He is able to analyze things. He has no greed for kingdom. All these are good qualities of Arjuna. At the same time, there is some confusion in him also. He is indecisive. So we need to see Arjuna from both perspectives. Just because Arjuna is being indecisive and expressing some confusion, we should not minimize his position. We should not ridicule him, right? He's only acting like this on behalf of all of us, that to give us an important message. However powerful you may be, you will be confused one day. You will be in a dilemma sometimes. You will be indecisive at times. At that time, you need guidance from a great soul. You need guidance from Krishna. He got guidance of Krishna. We need to take guidance from some other devotees who are around us, right? Some seniors, elders, experienced people, parents, teachers. So everybody needs some guidance. So without guidance, we won't be able to attain what we are supposed to attain. So we need guidance from experienced people. That's the whole point. So this completes the first chapter. So here's a quick overview. I think you can see it from the Subodhani. I'll go to the next chapter now. Second chapter. So second chapter is entitled The Contents of Gita Summarized. Very elaborate chapter, 72 shlokas are there. First 10 shlokas are simple, but later comes very technical sections. So let us see how we can use first chapter overview. So second chapter has 5 sections again. In the first 10 shlokas, Arjuna accepts Krishna as his teacher. Earlier, Arjuna was a warrior and Krishna was driver. But later, driver became teacher. Before becoming driver, Krishna was a cousin. Okay. So basically, Krishna can play any kind of role in relationship with his devotees. In the Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful shloka. Sārathya parishada sevana sakhya dautya vīrāsanānugamanastavana pranaman snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha vishnor bhaktim karoti nrupatis charanaravinde. Sārathya, Krishna acted as a chariot driver. Parishada, he accepted Agra Puja in the Rajasuya sacrifice. Sevana, he's doing so many services. Sakhya, he's like a friend. Dautya, he's like a messenger for the Pandavas. Virasana, he's like a night watchman. Anugamana, following them. Stavana, praising them. Pranaman, offering dandavats to them. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj is an elder cousin of Krishna. Krishna will fall at his feet. He will wash his feet also. So like that, Krishna is doing so many menial services also for the Pandavas because Snigdheshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnor. All the Pandavas are Snigdheshu. They are very malleable to the will of Krishna. They are very flexible devotees of Krishna. That's why Krishna is performing even such menial tasks for the pleasure of all the Pandavas. Okay. So Arjuna accepted Krishna as Guru. Next, Krishna begins his teachings from the 11th shloka. 11th to 30th shloka, Krishna gives the knowledge of body and soul. This is called Atma Jnana. Then he speaks about Sakama Karma, working for enjoyment. 31 to 37 shlokas. Then 38 till 53, he speaks about Nishkama Karma, working with detachment. Okay. Then 54 till the end of the chapter, 72nd shloka, he speaks about the qualities of a Sthita Prajna, or a wise person. So these are the 5 sections of this chapter. Today we will try to see the first 2 sections. Tomorrow we will see the next 3 sections. Okay. So actually time is very short. Anyways, no problem. You can study on your own. I'm not giving so many perspectives and elaborate explanations. I'm going a little fast in the syllabus because we need to cover these 3 chapters in the available time. So now at the end of the first chapter, Arjuna said, I will not fight. And Dhritarashtra became very happy. Because Sanjay is explaining what's happening on the battlefield to Dhritarashtra, right? So Dhritarashtra became very happy. Oh, Arjuna is not fighting. Wonderful, amazing. But to shatter all these hopes of Dhritarashtra, our Arjuna said, Sanjay said, Rukmini Mataji, Tam tatha kripaya vishtam
Tam tatha kripaya vishtam
Ashrupurna kulekshanam
Ashrupunakulekshanam
Vishidantamidam vakyam
Vihitantamidam vakyam
uvacha Madhusudana
Vacha Madhusudana.
tam tatha kripaya avishtam. Seeing Arjuna full of compassion, kripaya avishtam. Ashrupurna akulekshanam, his eyes were full of tears. Vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha Madhusudana. Madhusudana spoke to Arjuna, who was lamenting. What did he speak? The following words. What are the following words? From second shloka, we will see that. So, in this shloka, Sanjaya says that Arjuna had compassion, tears, and lamentation. Prabhupada says compassion, tears, and lamentation. These three things occur in a person who is totally affected by material emotions. Yeah, we should have emotions. We should not be like hard stones. We should have emotions, but appropriate emotions, not inappropriate emotions. We should have right kind of emotions, not misplaced compassion towards people. So those people who don't deserve your compassion or emotions, you should not have emotions for such people, right? So Arjuna is filled with compassion and lamentation and tears. So Prabhupada gives an example. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. Why Arjuna is getting emotional now? Because I have to kill my relatives, He cannot kill. Krishna is going to say to Arjuna, you cannot kill anybody. Everybody is eternal. Whom can you kill? You are only killing their bodies. That's all. And body will anyways be temporary, right? So body is not permanent. If you don't kill them, don't think that they will go home. Someone else will kill them, right? If they don't die in this war, they will die in some other war. If they are not dying in any war, they will naturally die also. Even if nobody kills the body, when the body becomes old, it has to die one day. The soul has to leave the body. There is a natural death and there is an accidental death. There is a death in a war. But death is inevitable for one who is embodied. So why are you unnecessarily getting so emotional on a bodily platform and ignoring your duty as a kshatriya? As a kshatriya, you are supposed to fight, please fight. Okay, don't get overly emotional. That is Arjuna's point. That is Krishna's point. So let us see what Krishna says. Madhusudana word comes in this shloka because Krishna killed Madhu demon. Now Krishna is supposed to kill the demon of the doubts of Arjuna. Sometimes demons, doubts are like demons. So the Lord will destroy the doubts or misunderstanding. Second shloka. Jayadvaita Prabhu. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Kutastva kashmalamidam.
Kutastva kashmalamidam.
Vishame samupasthitam.
Vishame samupasthitam.
Anarya jushtam asvargyam.
Anarya dushtam asvargyam.
Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Akirtikaram Arjuna.
So Krishna is very heavy with Arjuna now. Now let's begin with first line. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Prabhupada comments on the first line, not only the shloka, he also says, what is this Bhagavan word here? Bhaga means opulence. Van means one who possesses the opulence. Whenever Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, he is addressed as Bhagavan, not as Krishna Uvacha or Vasudeva Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, because he is endowed with all six opulences. Wealth, wisdom, strength, fame, beauty, renunciation. You know what are they. So, and also, the Lord has three features. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Brahman is the effulgence of the Lord, Brahma Jyoti. Paramatma is a replica of the Lord. One example is given in the scriptures. There is sun shining in the sky and you keep 10 pots with water. The reflection of the sun is in the 10 pots, right? Only one sun, but there are 10 suns you are seeing now in the pots. Similarly, Bhagavan is one, Krishna is one. His reflections are the super souls, the Paramatmas. There are so many. Just like you can see sun in all, there is only one sun in the sky. Similarly, although there is one Lord, there are millions of Paramatmas. He is there in the hearts of all the 42 people on the Zoom call. He is there in the hearts of all the millions and trillions of people in the entire cosmos. He is there in every single atom also. Whether they are living beings or non-living beings or moving beings or immovable things, Krishna is there. You are drinking water. Krishna is there in the water. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Without Krishna's presence, water cannot be tasted. For example, you take a sugar particle. Is there soul in that sugar particle? Is there soul? No. But there is super soul. Atma is not there in sugar, but there is Paramatma. Because Paramatma is there, that's why sugar is sweet, salt particle is salty, okay, Karela is bitter. So all these tastes or qualities of any living or non-living thing is only because of the presence of Paramatma. He is there in every atom, okay, as the maintainer. Then Bhagavan is the main Lord. So Bhagavan, Paramatma and Brahman. So these are the three phases of the absolute truth. Okay, next, Prabhupada says in the purport, deviation of duty is disapproved by Krishna. It was Arjuna's duty to fight in the war as a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is supposed to administer, fight, manage, rule, and when a wrong ruler, bad ruler is taking over the kingdom, Kshatriyas are supposed to confront with them, fight with them, defeat them, and take charge of the kingdom with responsibility. But Arjuna is saying, no, I will not fight. I will become a sannyasi. You are a Kshatriya, do your duty, na? Why are you wanting to do sannyasa duty? Okay. So Krishna said, let's go back to the shloka. We discussed about Bhagavan, we need to go back to shloka. Kutastva kashmalamidam. He says, oh Arjuna, where did you get this impurity in your heart? Kashmalam means impurity, contamination in your heart. Vishame samupastitam, in this hour of crisis. Anarya jushtam. Arya means a civilized person, a wise person, one who acts according to what is expected of him. So what your behavior is totally incompatible with your position as Arya. Asvargyam. It will not take you to heavenly planets, right? It will not give you any better destination. Akirtikaram. Kirti means fame. Akirti means infamy. Akirtikaram Arjuna. Arjuna, your disposition, your mentality will destroy your kirti. Already you are very famous as a warrior, and all that fame will be going away if you give up this war. You may think that people will think that out of compassion you gave up that war. No, people will think that seeing Bhishma and Drona on the battlefield, you became afraid and you ran away. That's what people will think. Right? You may give up the war out of detachment and noble mentality, but people will misinterpret it in such a way that you will be defamed. That is too much for you. Okay. So it leads to infamy. 3 points. Next, Krishna continues to chastise Arjuna. Pavan Prabhu. Klaibyam masmagamaha partham.
Klaibyam masmagama partha.
Naitattvai upapadyate.
Naitattvai upapadyate.
Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam.
Shudram hridaya daurbalyam.
Yaktottishta parantapa.
Yakto vishta parantapa.
Klaibyam asmagamaha partha naitattvai upapadyate. Oh Partha, give up this impudence, because give up this weak-heartedness, right? It doesn't befit you. Naitattvai upapadyate. It doesn't suit you, this kind of mentality. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. This is petty weakness of your heart. Tyaktva, give it up. Uttishta, get up. Oh Parantapa. Parantapa means one who destroys his enemies. You are a destroyer of enemy. You have so many military certificates. You got Pashupatastra from Shiva. You impressed Indra. You killed Nivata Kavacha demons. You also got some blessings from Agni Devata. And you have got Maya Sabha. You have so many military certificates. You are the favorite student of your teacher Drona. Being such a popular warrior, accomplished warrior, Suddenly, if you say, I will not fight in this war, which is the main war in your life, what will people think about you? Give up this petty weakness of heart. Get up, right? It's impotency. So Krishna disapproved the so-called compassion of Arjuna, right? So these are ego-shattering words. When a Kshatriya is called impotent or weak, that's like very insulting, and Krishna insulted Arjuna in this way. Okay. Now Krishna only in the 17th chapter gives another teaching. You know that? How to speak. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat svadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. How many of you know this shloka? Anudvegakaram vakyam. Okay. So we should not speak in an agitating way. That's the teaching of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna began speaking in Bhagavad Gita to agitate Arjuna. He was scolding. He was speaking very harshly, very rudely, very roughly. Impotent. You are like this. You are weak-hearted. Right? Is Krishna acting against his own teachings? That's why we need Acharya's purports, Prabhupada's purports. Very simple. In general, we should speak politely. We should not speak harshly. Right? Generally, we should be very kind and affectionate and sober and gentle and dignified in our dealings, definitely. But if you happen to be a teacher or a mother or a father who is responsible for a younger one, it is your right and responsibility to chastise them, to scold them, to pull their ear, to become strict with them. Okay. If required, you can speak a little strongly with your son or daughter or a student only for their welfare. Because Krishna said, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Parents are genuinely the well-wishers of children. So they are authorized to chastise children if required. Not that every day they keep chastising, but when child requires to be disciplined, parents can become angry. Parents need not apply the formula of Anudvegakaram. They can speak Udvegakaram Vakyam also. They can speak little strongly and heavily. Yashodamata became so strong with Krishna in Damodar Lila. She says, you are a monkey lover, you are a house plunderer, you are so clever, and you are a liar. So she speaks so much. And by associating with monkeys so much, you have become like a monkey. Then Krishna says, if I am a monkey, I must have inherited the qualities of monkey from my mother, not from my father. So like that, Krishna gives some clever replies also. Anyways, parents are authorized to give feedback to their kids. Teachers are authorized to chastise their students. So Krishna also is acting as the role of acting as a teacher, and is chastising Arjuna. Right? He's not acting against his teachings. So if a Kshatriya declines to fight, he's a Kshatriya only in name, not in reality. Okay, it's a weakness of heart. Now Arjuna started defending himself. Harshita Mataji. Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Katham bhishmamaham sankhye.
Katham bhishmamaham sankhye.
Dronam cha madhusudana.
Dronam cha madhusudana.
Ishubhi pratiyotsyami.
Ishubhi pratiyotsyami.
Pujarhav arisudana.
Pujarhav arisudana.
Katham bhishmamaham sankhye. Oh Krishna, how can I kill Bhishma? He's my worshipable grandfather. Dronam cha, he's my teacher. Madhusudana, you killed Madhu demon. You did not kill your Guru Sandipanamani, right? You did not kill your grandfather Ugrasena, right? How are you expecting me to kill my grandfather and Guru? It's too much, right? They are provoking me to do something which you did not do. Yishubhihi pratiyotsyami pujarha arisudana. Yishubhihi pratiyotsyami means how can I throw arrows on them? Pujarha means it's worth, they are worthy of worship. Arisudana, your Arisudana means you are destroyer of Ari, enemies, not grandfathers and teachers, right? So I already gave the meaning of this shloka. So it is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even verbally also you should not confront. If they become angry, you should tolerate. Okay, that's the general format of traditional India, at least. So, would Krishna ever attack his grandfather Ugrasena or teacher Sandipadmani? We already discussed this. Now, in the 5th shloka, Arjuna says, who is supposed to recite now? Vidyavati Mataji. Guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshamapi haloke hatvartha kamamstu gurun ihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan. Gurus means not only teachers, superiors. Any superior can be called guru. Okay, elder. So gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan. It's not proper to kill elderly people. Oh Krishna, mahanubhavan, you are a well experienced person. Shreyo bhoktum bhaiksham apiha loke. After killing them, how can we stay peacefully? It is better for me not to kill them and live by begging. Bhaiksham apiha loke. Better I live by begging than killing my relatives and eating the food tainted with their blood. Hatvartha kamamstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. Whatever enjoyment or food that we eat after killing them, he will be tainted with their blood. He's getting too emotional, natural emotion. So better I live by begging, not instead of eating this bloody meal. Okay. So yeah, next shloka. Jonika Mataji. Nachaitadvidmaha kataranno gariyo.
Nachetadvidamaha kataranno gariho.
Yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyuho.
Yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyo.
Yaneva hatva na jijivishamaha.
Yana eva hatva na jivishamaha.
Teva sthitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha.
Teva stitha pramukhe dhritarashtraha.
So he is saying that Nachaitad vidmaha kataranno gariyo. After saying that I will not kill my superiors, now he is expressing his confusion. I don't know which is better. Right? Yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyuhu. To conquer them or being conquered by them. Which is better? I don't understand. Okay. Yaneva hatva najijivishamaha. If we kill sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Because without relatives, we cannot survive. But teva sthitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. But they are standing in front of us now. Okay. So these are some indecisive thoughts in the heart of, in the mind of Arjuna. He is unable to conclude. On one side, he understands that it is his right to fight for kingdom. On the other side, he was doubtful. Is it right to fight with my own relatives, with my own friends, with my own family members? He was in a great dilemma, right? Completely confused now. So, now Prabhupada writes in the purport, although Arjuna is considering Bhishma and Drona as gurus, superiors, still Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take side of Duryodhan just because of financial assistance. Yesterday someone asked about external reasons. So this is one. There is an obligation. There is financial assistance that they are getting. So because of financial assistance, they compromised on dharma. Therefore, they lost their respectability as teachers. Okay. Of course, Bhishma was acting as an instrument in Krishna's hand. But externally speaking, one cannot compromise on dharma for some freebies. Okay. Based on some financial considerations. So that's why they lost their respectability. So there is no point. When Draupadi was being disrobed, they were supposed to stop, but they did not stop. Okay. Therefore, Krishna is instigating them. Better you kill them. Okay. So, yeah, I think this analysis you can see from the purport. Basically, he's confused. How can I attack Bhishma Drona? Better I leave by begging. I don't know which is better. Even unrivaled kingdom cannot mitigate my grief. So these are some thoughts. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that somebody is doing surgery. Is it violence or benevolence? In surgery, you have to cut the body of a patient. You have to pierce needles into their body, injections. You may use scissors and knives, but apparently it seems violence. Just putting some sharp objects and putting needles and scissors and knives in the body, it seems violence, but it is not violence. It is treatment. It is benevolence. It is kindness. It is compassion. It is an expression of love. So similarly, when a Kshatriya kills on the battlefield to establish dharma, it is not violence. It's a bona fide violence. Even if you call it violence, it's a bona fide violence. It's a necessary violence. So finally, Arjuna says, Krishna, you become my teacher. Very important shloka. Sachin Prabhu. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaham. We can't hear you, Prabhu. Mandaleshwar Prabhu. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaham.
कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभावः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेताः
पश्यामि त्वां धर्मसमुदः चेतः
यश्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यश्रेयसां निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
कार्पण्य दोष अपहत स्वभावः. Karpanya dosha means miserly weakness. Kripana means a miser. So why this is miserly weakness? Okay. Arjuna says, I have lost my composure, apahata svabhava, because of miserly weakness. How is Arjuna a miser here? What is a miser? No, anyone can guess why Arjuna is called miser here? You can answer. Let's have a little interaction also.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hi, Krishna. Miser because he couldn't able to follow the Krishna's instruction. He was confused. He was weak. That what Krishna is instructing him maybe is right or wrong, because
But
till there
what is a miser? What is the definition of a miser? Who is called a miser?
means non-intelligent person who is not able to take right decision.
Okay. Any other meaning? Yes, Jayadeva Prabhu. What is a miser?
Person who is very tight with money.
Miser means he has something, but he doesn't use it. He has money, he doesn't spend it. He has food item, he doesn't distribute it. He has some commodity, he doesn't use it. Okay. So that is a miser. Now Arjuna is called miser because he has advanced intelligence, wisdom, experience, and he's not using it now. Okay. He's unable to use it. Okay. As Mataji explained, yes, he's unable to use it for various reasons, confusion and all. Okay. So I have lost my composure because of my miserly weakness. So pritchami tvam, therefore I am asking you, dharma sammudha chetaha, because I am confused about my duty. Dharma is duty, sammudha means confusion, chetaha means mind. So my mind is confused about what is my duty. Nishchitam bruhitan me, please tell me for certain. Yah shreyasyan, what is good for me. Sishyasteham, I am your disciple now. Shadhimam, instruct me. Tvam prapannam, I am surrendered to you. I am taking your shelter. Clear? So here he is surrendering to a guru. So we all need a teacher, a guru, to traverse through the journey of life. This world is a place of confusion. A human being can come out of it with the help of a guru. A guru helps us go on a journey from confusion to clarity, right? Confusion to clarity. Arjuna said Dharma Sammudha Chetaha in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, just now. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, in the last chapter, you know what Arjuna says? Nashto moha smritirlabdha tvatprasadan mayachyuta. All my confusions are gone by your mercy, O Arjuna, O Krishna. That's what he says, right? So when we take shelter of a bona fide guru, like Krishna or any representative of Krishna, we'll give up our confusions and we'll attain clarity. Bhagavad Gita is that book that helps us to destroy our confusions and gain clarity in life. Okay. So, yeah, confusion is common, but an intelligent person knows what to do in confusion. Approach a teacher. When the magnitude of your problem goes beyond the ability of your intelligence to solve, humbly approach a reliable guru And that humility is intelligence, real intelligence. Okay. So next, because of false ego, we won't be able to take shelter of any guru. We think that, array, I know what to do. Why I should ask him? So we try to figure out the reasons for our problems, and we try to solve those problems on our own many times. But oftentimes, some problems are beyond our capacity to solve. Therefore, we need to keep our ego aside and humbly go to a guru to get some guidance. Prabhupada writes, in every step of life, there is perplexity, and a bona fide guru gives proper guidance. Okay. Better to look stupid by asking what we don't know than acting stupid by pretending that we know it. Getting right? Sometimes people may think that I know, and they really act stupidly because their ego doesn't allow them to express the confusion in front of some person, and they may think, oh, I may look stupid if I ask this basic question. Better to look stupid than acting stupid. Okay. So, yeah, there are many such wonderful points from Prabhupada's purports. Now Arjuna says, I will recite Vidya Devi Vidyavati Mataji. Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat.
Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat.
Yat shokam uchchoshanam indriyanam.
Yat shokam uchchoshanam indriyanam.
Avapya bhumav asapat namriddham.
Avapya bhumav asapat namriddham.
Rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam.
Rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam.
Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat. I don't see any way of driving away my grief. Yet shokam, this grief, uchchoshanam, it's drying me up. Indriyana, my senses are drying up. I become dysfunctional. Avapya bhumav asapatna vruddham. Even if you give me a prosperous and unrivaled kingdom, I won't be able to mitigate this grief that I'm experiencing now. Rajyam suranam. Even if you give me the heavenly kingdom, I won't be happy. So I can't drive away my grief. Krishna, only you can help me. Okay. So in the 9th shloka, he says, Mukunda Priya Mataji, Eva muktva hrishikesham.
Eva muktva hrishikesham.
Gudakeshaha parantapa.
Gudakeshaha parantapaha.
Nayotsya iti govindam.
Nayotsaya iti govindam.
Uktva tushnim bhabhuvaha.
Uktva tushnim babhuvaha.
Eva muktva hrishikesham. So Arjuna spoke like that to Krishna. Hrishikesha is Krishna, he is the controller of senses. And Arjuna is called Gudakesha, as we know, yesterday we discussed. Parantapa, he is the chastiser of enemies also. Na yotsya iti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. He said, I will not fight. Na yotsya iti, I will not fight Krishna, O Govinda. And he just kept silent, right? He became silent. So, next. Tamuvacha hrishikeshaha prahasanneva bharata seyanayor madhye vishidantamidam vachaha. Tamuvacha hrishikeshaha prahasanneva bharata. So, seeing Arjuna like that, Hrishikesha started speaking to Arjuna. Seyanayor madhye, in between two armies. Their chariot is still there between the two armies only. Vishidantamidam vachaha, they are lamenting. Okay. Arjuna is lamenting, and Krishna started speaking to Arjuna in this way. So what did he speak? So that's from the 11th shloka. And Krishna was smiling because Arjuna accepted him as a guru. Fine. So this is a flow. We can just go through. Second section of this chapter, 11th to 30th shloka. This section is called Jnana or Sankhya. So it gives an analysis of matter and spirit or body and soul. Sankhya means analysis. Analyzing matter and spirit will give you Jnana, knowledge. Therefore, this section can be called Sankhya or Jnana. Both are fine. By analysis, you develop knowledge. And this kind of addresses Arjuna's first question of bodily compassion. Till now, we went little fast. The reason is it's a storyline, and these are like popular reasons that Arjuna has given for not fighting in the war. And Arjuna finally accepted Krishna as Guru. So real teachings of Krishna will start from this point. Whatever we have seen so far is only a introduction kind of thing. Now Krishna begins his teachings from the 11th sloka of 2nd chapter. In the beginning, 2 slokas he spoke, 2nd and 3rd sloka. That's just a chastising Arjuna. That's all. In the 1st chapter also he spoke. Arjuna shall get the armies. That's all. But actual teachings begin from this shloka. We'll go a little slow now. Hopefully, 1st shloka. Let me tell you, the entire summary of this whole section of 20 shlokas is only one line. You know what is that? Soul is eternal, body is temporary. Therefore, don't lament, just fight. Okay, that's the essence of this entire section of 20 shlokas, right? So Krishna simply says, soul is ever alive, body is never alive. Don't lament for the body, just fight, do your duty. That's the meaning. So from Jnana perspective, he's encouraging him to do his duty. Okay, 1st shloka. Mukunda Priya Mataji, correct. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Ashocyanan Vashochastvam.
Ashocana Vashochastvam.
Prajna Vadamscha Bhashase.
Prajna Vadamasha Bhashase.
Gatasun Agatasumscha.
Gatasuna Gatasumscha.
Anushocanti Panditaha.
Anushochanti Panditaha.
Interestingly, okay, let me explain the meaning first. First he says, Ashochan Anvashochastvam. We are lamenting for something which is not worthy of grief. Ashochan means you should not lament for it. You should not cry for it. Anvashochastvam, but you are crying for it. What is that? Body. You should not lament for the body which is temporary, but you are lamenting for that only. Pragnavadamsha bhashase. Pragnavada means you are speaking very wise words, as if you are a very intelligent person. While speaking wise words, you are lamenting for something which is not worthy of grief. Gatasun agatasumscha nanushochanti panditaha. Panditas means learned people. They don't lament for something which is not worthy, whether the body is living or dead. In all cases, body is temporary and it's not worth having emotions for. Nanu shochanti, you should not lament for it. So Nanu shochanti means don't lament. Can anyone tell me what is the last shloka of Bhagavad Gita? No, not last shloka of Bhagavad Gita book as such, but the last teaching given by Krishna. Last teaching.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anyone?
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham toham sarva papebhyo mokshishami mahasuchaha. Surrender unto me, I shall forgive you from all the sinful reactions.
And Ma Shuchaha, don't worry. Ma Shucha means don't worry. So Krishna ended Bhagavad Gita by saying Ma Shuchaha, don't worry. He began his teaching of Bhagavad Gita by saying Nanu Shochanti, don't worry. So no worry. Right from beginning to end of Bhagavad Gita, this is 18.66 shloka. This is 2.11 shloka. Second canto 11, 18, second chapter 11th, last chapter 66. From beginning to end, Krishna is only telling us don't worry, don't lament. Okay. By reading Bhagavad Gita, we will give up lamentation. We should give up lamentation. It's not worthy worrying for anything in this material world. After all, everything is temporary. Okay. Don't worry for something which is not worth it. Okay. So, next. Let us see what is this soul and all that. We have a gross body, which is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and we have limbs, eyes, nose, etc. That is gross body. Subtle body means which is not visible, but it exists. And what is that subtle body constitutes? mind, intelligence, ego. Man, buddhi, ahankar, MBA. So that is settled body. So behind these two gross and settled bodies, visible and invisible bodies, is the soul. And there is super soul also accompanying the soul. Fine. Prabhupada, right? Prabhupada says, once Prabhupada called a little boy on the stage and said, "My dear boy, what is this?" The boy said, "Hand." Whose hand? My hand. Okay, great. What is this? Leg. Whose leg? My leg. What is this? Head. Whose head? My head. Are you head? No. Are you leg? No. Are you hand? No. Like that, Prabhupada is speaking something and then the boy is replying. And at the end, Prabhupada said, see, this boy says he is not the body. But he also says body belongs to him. He's saying, I am not hand, but it is my hand. I am not head, but it is my head. I am not leg, but it is my leg. Means who is that I? The boy got confused. Prabhupada asked him, okay, you are saying my body, you are saying my hand, you are saying my leg. Who are you then? Boy was confused. He is claiming that he is not body. He is claiming that the body is mine, but he doesn't know what he is, who he is. And this is the confusion of most people in the entire creation. They conveniently say in their colloquial interactions with people, my body, my hand, my leg, my mind, my intelligence, my ego. But who is that I? They don't know. This is mine. Mera mind, mera man, mera intelligence, mera body. But who are you? He doesn't know. I am soul. Bhagavad Gita language is, Bhagavad Gita says that we are souls. We are Atma. Okay. Anyone by using little common sense can understand that I am different from my body. This is my body, but I am not the body and I am different from the body. Common sense. Even a child can understand I am not the body. Okay. And who are we? Now, to explain what is our real identity, which is different from the body, Krishna spends 20 shlokas here. Okay. Next. Yeah, we discussed all this before. Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra. Now, Krishna is speaking about Gnana Shastra. After that, he will speak Bhakti Shastra also. Gnana means difference between body and soul, knowledge of matter, soul, and supreme. Matter, spirit, and the supreme, controller of both. 12th shloka. Shruti Priya Mataji. Natve vaham jatu nasam.
Nate evaham jatu nasam.
Natvam neme janadhipaha.
Natvam neme janadhipa.
Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha.
Nacheva na bhavishyamaha.
Sarve vayamatah param.
Sarve vayam atah param.
Krishna says, Natvevaham jatunasam. Oh Arjuna, please understand that all the kings that assembled here, they always existed. And Natvevaham, aham, means I also existed always. You also existed always. And all these kings also always existed. There is no death for them. There is no birth for them. They are eternal. We are eternal. All of us are eternal. Okay. So, Krishna speaks about the existence of a soul beyond the creation and destruction of a body. Body is created and body is destroyed. But the soul is never created, never destroyed. It's permanent, it's eternal, it's deathless. So that's the point. So Krishna also is permanent and all the kings and Arjuna, they were also permanent. But what is the difference? Because Krishna is eternal and we are eternal, are we both same completely? No. The main point is Krishna is the supreme eternal amongst all eternals. Qualitatively, a small drop of the ocean and the entire ocean have the same chemical composition, but the quantity is different. Okay, small drop and big ocean. There's a lot of difference. Small spark of fire and entire big fire. They both are similar. How? Both can emanate heat and light. But the quantity of heat and light emanated from a small fire spark is so less, infinitesimal, but The quantity of heat and light emanated from a big fire, forest fire, is unlimited. People can burn in it. When a spark comes on your hand, it will be extinguished within a moment. But when a big fire comes on our body, my God, we'll be burnt to ashes, right? So there's a difference between the Lord and us. But both are eternal, qualitatively speaking. Okay. So, 13th shloka. Anish Gupta Prabhu. Dehinosmin yatha dehe
Dehinosmin yatha dehe
kaumaram yavvanam jara
kaumaram yauvanam jara
tatha dehantara prapti
tatha dehantar praptir
dhirastatra na muhyate.
dhirastatra na muhyati.
Dehino asmin yatha dehi kaumaram yavanam jara. Within one body also, the living being traverses from childhood to youthhood. Now he is born, very small boy. Then he starts crawling. Then he starts walking. Then he starts jumping. Then he will become a teenager. Then middle-aged man, old man, and eventually he will die. Right? So within one body also, the soul is passing through different stages, right? So similarly, at the end of one's life, at the time of death, the soul goes from one body to another body. Okay. So this is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, first teaching of Bhagavad Gita, difference between body and soul. So when the soul changes the body, it gets a new body. So you should rejoice it. Oh, you're getting new body. Okay. Just like, okay, I'll come little later. Now Arjuna had a question. Okay, Krishna, you are saying that body is never alive, it's always dead matter, and soul is ever alive. We understand all that. But my interaction with all my relatives is only through the body. How can I kill that body? If I kill Bhishma's body, not Bhishma, of course, if I kill Bhishma's body, what will happen? I won't be able to interact with Bhishma anymore, right? He may get a new body, he may go to heaven, he may go to Golok, he may go anywhere. But my interaction with Bhishma, my relationship with Bhishma is through this body. That will be terminated. What will happen? Right? I will lose my grandfather. I will lose his company, association. Now Krishna says you should tolerate it. It is required that you develop this quality of tolerance to handle all these separations, pain of separation from your relatives. That's the next teaching. Read this. Anandita Mataji. Matra sparshastu kaunteya.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya.
Hitoshna sukha dukkhadah.
Hitoshna sukha dukkhadah.
Agama payino nityah.
Agama payino nityas.
Samstitikshasva bharata.
Tantikshashva bharata.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Sita ushna sukha dukkhadah. Matra sparsha means the experience of sense objects. Okay. When our senses come in contact with sense objects, it is called matra sparsha. O kaunteya. Sita and ushna means cold and heat. And sukha and dukkha, happiness and distress. All these are caused by senses coming in contact with sense objects. When your eyes see a pleasant scene, you become happy. When the eyes see a ghastly scene, you become distressful. Okay, when you come to the summer season, you feel heat. When it is winter season, you feel very cold. So bodily perceptions are all this. So heat and cold are experienced by the body. Happiness and distress are experienced by the mind. Okay, this is bodily level. This is mental level. Okay, so but all these are external experiences only. Agama, apaino. They come, they go. They appear and they disappear. Anityaha, they are temporary. Tam sitikshasva bharata. Therefore, you should tolerate them. That is the question. That is the teaching. So your grandfather dies, you'll become unhappy. He's living, you are happy. But if it is your duty to kill him, you should kill him and tolerate the unhappiness of separation from him. Okay. So you should not compromise on your duty just because you will attain some difficulty. For example, a mother cooks at home and she may, while cooking, she may feel heat, especially in summer. If the mothers have to cook, especially lunch, they will have to feel so much of heat. In my childhood, I have seen my mother stretch so much. We didn't have any gas stove or anything like that. We used to have this small earthen stove. We put some cow dung cakes and some wooden pieces and create fire, and that too outside our home, which is like very small. My mother used to cook lunch for so many people, 10, 12 people in our home. So she used to sweat, she used to have headache, and but she managed to do that to feed the family. So mother sacrificed so much for the entire family, and they tolerate heat and cold. I remember my mother used to get up early in the morning, especially in Kartik season in my childhood. She would take cold water bath throughout the day, head bath. My God. She used to get cold and sometimes fever also, but she managed all that for the welfare. She thinks that if I do some austerities, that will be causing welfare to my family members. Okay. So like that, we see so many people in this world also, they undergo so many austerities and happiness and distress. They tolerate happiness and distress for a higher purpose. The tolerance is very much required. Now you tolerate dukkha. What is this tolerating sukha? Krishna says, titikshasva. Titikshva is applicable not only to dukkha, to sukha also. So you understand we have to tolerate distress. What is the logic of tolerating happiness? Can anyone say? What's the logic behind tolerating happiness? Should we tolerate happiness? Anyone? Yes, Prabhu, please speak.
Prabhuji, as dukkha is temporary, even happiness is temporary. And so it is there, it will also go. And again, this happiness is material only. So it is, when we see from the soul
both are material, both are temporary. Okay. Now, let me go a little deeper into it. Tolerance. What is this tolerance here? Now, when somebody becomes a failure, somebody encounters some distress, naturally, that moment of failure is very discouraging, demotivating, depressing, and people may become very dysfunctional also, right? We have to tolerate the distress, not to plunge into depression and demotivation. Okay, that is clear. When somebody becomes successful or attains the fulfillment of one's desires, one may become so excited, elated, overconfident, proud, and later when they fail, they won't be able to take it. So we can rejoice a happy moment, but we should not become overconfident and proud and arrogant and inattentive. So we have to tolerate that happiness. We need to deal with this stress, but we should not get into depression or demotivation or discouragement or disappointment, right? So we need to tolerate happiness also, we need to tolerate distress also. Both are temporary, as Prabhu said. So next. Now, if you are able to tolerate these dualities of heat and cold, then you are eligible for liberation. Otherwise, we are not eligible for liberation. Yeah, this the Prabhupada gives this example of a mother cooking in kitchen. Okay, where is that? I need to. So much of purport points. Okay, 15 shloka. We will recite this. Nandini Mataji. Yam hinam yathayantyete.
Yam hina vyantante.
Purusham purusharshabham.
Purusham purusharshabha.
Samadukha sukham dhiram.
Samdukham sukham dhiram.
Somratatvaya kalpate.
Somratatvaya kalpate.
Yam hinam vyathayantyete purusham purusharshabha. Oh, best of all men, Please understand this point. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. Earlier Krishna said, tolerate happiness and distress. So that is tolerance. Now Krishna is introducing one more point, that is equanimity. Right? See happiness and distress on an equal level. They both are equal in the sense that both are temporary, both are material. Okay. Even the so-called happiness in this material world also is ultimately distressful. So samadukha sukham dhiram. So amritatvaya kalpate. Such a person can attain amritatva or liberation. So very, very important point. I think I'm restricting myself too much in explaining some key concepts. Maybe I can inform your in charge, Yajna Dhanishta Prabhu, if he's around in the call. Someone else can take the last few shlokas of this chapter. I will not target completing the chapter tomorrow. Instead, I will elaborate on some important points. Is it okay with you? Or you want to complete the chapter at any cost tomorrow? I can do both also. What is your preference? Shall we elaborate some key concepts, or what's your preference?
Please explain the key points rather than finishing.
Correct. Yes, even I prefer that instead of completing the syllabus. But I don't know if the coordinators have planned the syllabus in a certain way, then we need to oblige. Anyway.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So we can go ahead with the explaining key points, Prabhu. No issues. We are very beautiful to hear you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Because second chapter is too deep, we can't just go super fast in that. So you have given me free hand and I'll explain. So Krishna says, Samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. What is amritatva? Mriti means death. Amriti means no death, deathlessness. In other words, it is liberation. So we are eligible for liberation only when we are equipoised towards happiness and distress on a material plane. So let me tell you one small example. In my childhood, I had one little sister, and she was hardly 5-6 years old at that time. And she wanted a toy mobile. Okay. Now you see, my aunt, she's my cousin. My aunt gave her real mobile. Now take this mobile and call your father. You can talk to your father also. In those days, a small button phone was there, Nokia, maybe some 15 years back. So she said, no, I don't want this. I want that mobile only. That toy mobile. What is there in it? There are 9 keys there. You press first key, one song comes. Second key, another song. Third key, another song. Fourth key, another song. Not complete song, by the way. Only the first line. Okay. So she keeps playing with that. So that is her excitement. And that was like 50 rupees or something like that. In those days, it's very expensive. And my aunt is not sanctioning that. But this kid is yelling, screaming, shouting, crying, even on the road. And I had to lift her and then control her, console her. But she was very adamant and arrogant. And I want it. Okay. Finally, it's sanctioned. Okay. So the mother took the child into the shop. Now the child is in a dilemma. Should I take pink mobile or blue mobile? Two are there. So, like these girls are very attached to Barbie dolls, mostly in the pink color they like. So she finally chose the pink one. And I was showing you, take this green, take this blue, and she's not very excited with it. Okay. So finally she chose one color. So this pink color gave her happiness, and black or green will give her distress. Okay. After sanctioning the mobile also. But for the mother, both are same. You take pink mobile or red mobile or black mobile or yellow mobile, it doesn't make any difference to me. I have to pay 50 rupees from my purse. That's what I know. Right? She's equipoised there. But pink gives happiness, black gives distress for the kid. Similarly, just extend it to spiritual plane. When we are in material consciousness, when there is success, we'll become happy. When there is failure, we become distressful. When we gain something, we become happy. When we lose something, we become distressful. But when we elevate ourselves to spiritual consciousness, then whether it is happiness or distress, success or failure, loss or gain, we see them on an equal plane. Got this? So because we are in spiritual plane. Let me give one more example. When you are traveling on the road, there's a traffic signal. If it is green signal, you will go. If it's a red signal, you will stop. Okay? Because you're on the earth, you're on the road. For example, you're traveling in an airplane. Will the red signal stop you? Red signal and green signal, are they of any relevance to you? Not at all, right? You can just happily fly. Okay? Because you're an airplane. Similarly, when we elevate our consciousness to spiritual plane, the red signal of distress and the green signal of happiness are of no relevance to us. We become neutral. We become equipoised. That's what Krishna teaches us here. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram so amritatvaya kalpate. Whether it is sukha or dukkha, you maintain sama, equanimity. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. Then you're eligible for amritatva, liberation. Liberation means spiritual status, spiritual plane. So, very, very important lesson. When we are getting too affected by happiness and distress on a material plane, we are not ready for spiritual plane. We are not ready to go to Goloka. Many devotees may sometimes ask, Prabhu, how can I finish my business in this world and I go to the spiritual world? Okay. But they get affected by happiness, they get affected by distress. Naya iPhone 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever it may be. So much of excitement, right? They just lost something, so much of depression. So when we are getting overly affected by happiness and distress on a material plane, not understanding their temporary nature, how are we eligible for liberation? We are not eligible for liberation, right? Eligibility for liberation depends on our ability to tolerate happiness and distress and see them on an equal plane. Eligibility for liberation depends on our ability to tolerate and also ability to maintain equanimity. Equanimity and tolerance are connected to each other. Samatva and titiksha. Okay, that's about second shloka, 15th shloka. Next 16th shloka. So we'll recite this. Harshita Mataji. Nasato vidyate bhavo.
नासतो विद्यते भावो
Na bhavo vidyate sataham.
ना भावो विद्यते सतः
Ubhayorapi drushtoontaham.
उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस्
Tvanayostatvadarshabhih.
अनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः
Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate satah. So the shloka says like this. Na asato vidyate bhavo. Of the non-existent material body. Asata refers to the body. Okay. Sata refers to soul here. Sometimes new terminologies come, but we should not get confused. So of the non-existent material body, there is no endurance. Na bhavo vidyate satah. Of the existent or permanent and eternal soul, na bhavo, there is no change only. So here there is no endurance, here there is no change. So soul is permanent, body is temporary. Okay, in simple terms. Ubhayorapi drushtvantaha tvanayoha tattvadarshibhi. Tattvadarshi means one who takes darshan of tattva, means one who is self-realized. For such people, they have this clear understanding. Body has no endurance, soul has no change. Okay, these are the seers of truth who understand the permanence of body and permanence of soul and temporary nature of body. The search for security is ultimately the search for spirituality. So when we are spiritually inclined, we are always secure. The so-called insecurities of the material world will not affect our peace because we are on a different plane. So that completes 16 shlokas. It's 9 o'clock now. Any questions or comments? 16 is a good number to stop. 16 plus in the previous chapter also we did more than 10. I think we did more than 26 shlokas in 1.5 hours. So I'll stop here, open for questions. And tomorrow also I'll go a little slow and cover as much as possible only in this chapter. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Yes, please ask.
Can I start, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mati sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavana. Prabhuji, you told us the analogy of Surya, which we can see the different part, but we can compare it with the Paramatma aspect of Bhagwan. So, is it the same like the shadow? How should we understand it?
Shadow is different from reflection. But it's only, you can even say shadow also, but shadow is only visible, only one shadow is visible, right, at a time. Maybe two shadows if two lights are there, but reflections can be 1,000, 10,000. Replicas can be 1,000. Okay, but anyways, examples are examples, analogies are analogies. But you say you get the main point, right? So the Supreme Lord Krishna is one, but he can have thousands and millions of replicas who are Paramatmas, and these are all expansions of Krishna. They stay within the hearts of all living beings to maintain them, to remind them of their desires, to give them forgetfulness, remembrance, and happiness. Okay.
It's not the reflection. He himself present. He expand and he is there in the form of Paramatma.
See, we call it reflection just for an understanding, but Paramatma is a partial representation of Krishna. Okay, Krishna is Purna Purushottam, who has unlimited qualities, unlimited functions and pastimes, but Paramatma is either you call replica of Krishna or expansion of Krishna, or a Xerox copy of Krishna. Krishna, the original certificate, and Paramatmas are like Xerox copies, something like that. So he's representative, but his activities are limited. Okay. Now, Yashoda Mata will not take a stick and then chase Paramatma to beat him or to tie him up. Okay. So Paramatma has a role to maintain this material world. He is a witness of all our activities, and he gives the necessary qualities to all the things in this world, and he also gives us smriti gnanam apohanam, knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So he has certain role to play in life, in our life. But Krishna is Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, source of millions of Paramatmas. There is only one Krishna, but there is millions of Paramatmas. Of course, Krishna, one Krishna with full potency, can expand himself into multiple Krishnas also. That's a different thing. Okay, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, last shloka, whatever you explain, it's Sama Dukkha Sukha Dhiram Amritatva. So, Prabhuji, what is a practical way of doing it, Sama Dukkha? We can understand theoretically, like we have to be equipoise in all situations, whether it's happiness or distress. So, can you please expand?
Yeah. Yes. So practically, how do we implement this in life? We cannot become prematurely transcendental. Oh, happiness, distress, both are same. Or we cannot become totally impersonal also, or indifferent towards the situations. If there is some distressful moment, if we are not getting affected by it, then we are probably emotionally little insensitive. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes, okay. But what Gita teaches us and how do we implement it is that try to look at things more rationally, philosophically, and intellectually, and not just sentimentally. And we will get that ability to the degree we regularly read Bhagavatam. We regularly relish Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and basically scriptures. Because we may know it once. Today we just heard it, we just read it, and we are the lesson or the principle is very fresh in our memory. But after 5 days, after 10 days, will we remember it? After 1 month, will we remember it? Although we know it entered into our knowledge base, it's not appearing that principle is not appearing in our mind or heart at the right time, appropriate time. So for it to appear at the appropriate time in our mind, we should regularly hear, regularly read Shastra, regularly hear Shastra. Then we will be able to practically apply it. So in short, one answer to your question is regularly hear the philosophical teachings of Gita and Bhagavatam so that we will be equipped with the ability to apply it in a practical life. Second answer is that we should associate with devotees who have the ability to apply. Say when some distressful moment comes, I become very perturbed. But another mature devotee is there, he is very calm, cool, bindas. So if you are in the company of such a devotee, you will also be able to maintain that calm and cool and peace and sobriety when there is distress, right? Good association and regular hearing, two things. Okay, thank you.
Nicely explained. Thank you so much for it. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Next.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I want to ask that why killing is not a solution, Prabhu. Why Krishna is preferred for killing? Because that emotion and feeling will be stayed in next life also. Then why he preferred to kill? Because Arjuna was told to kill Bhishma and Duryodhana and Dronacharya and this all, but Krishna could have made easy also. He could. He's a god. He could do anything, but he has preferred to killing. What you want to teach us with that?
Sometimes while performing our duty, we may have to do something which we don't otherwise want to do. Sometimes performing our duties will require to take an action which is very unpleasant and painful to us. So Krishna is teaching us. Okay, he's God, he can do anything. Yeah, he can just transform all the members in that Kurukshetra battle into pure devotees and take them to Goloka Vrindavan in a fraction of a second. Why is he not doing that? The Lord doesn't interfere with our independence, and the Lord doesn't want us to become irresponsible or complacent. He has given us a life, he has given us some independence, and he expects us to behave responsibly. He can do anything, that does not mean he will do anything. Right? He expects us to behave with responsibility. You are a Kshatriya, you are supposed to kill, you are supposed to fight. When somebody is doing adharma, you are supposed to establish dharma, you are supposed to kill. So why should we expect Krishna to give us some shortcuts? Krishna gives us knowledge, wisdom, principles, teachings, morals, and it's our responsibility to act according to the teachings given by Krishna. Okay, instead of expecting him to do some things in an easier way. Okay, next question.
One more thing, Prabhu. Can I ask it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this metal world is totally duality. It's like that everything has two things: heat, cold, and this happiness, distress, and this everything. And whereas only this in duality, we are suffering a lot. We are getting distressed, suffer, or depression, or some everything as due to this duality only. Whatever we are, body is suffering or anything is suffering in this metal world due to duality. How to escape from this duality? That one thing I want to ask.
Now, by regularly reading Bhagavad Gita, we can also develop that ability to tolerate duality. Okay, we need to, the answer that I have given to the other Mataji who just asked this question, how to practically apply it, the same is applicable here also. So in the association of like-minded devotees, we develop that ability to apply the teachings, to tolerate dualities and whatever it is. Basically, if I don't know the way to go to Delhi, for example. What should I do? I should take another devotee who knows the way to Delhi and then go. Okay. Maybe I'll reach airport, but from there I need to go to some other place. I need somebody who shows me the way, right? Similarly, I don't have a quality to tolerate duality. I need to be with a person who has ability to tolerate duality, and thus I will imbibe that quality. Okay, Prabhu? Next question. Yes, Prabhu.
I have a question regarding you're giving the example of your sister taking mobile. So my question is, her mother is trying to give the highest thing, that is real mobile, but the child wants to take the fake mobile. So this situation is like this. Our teachers or mentor want to give us the highest thing, but we want to remain our situation. We like this situation, and we enjoy the things that we are in our situation. We don't want to come out from the situation. So, due to some emotional setbacks or whatever the thing is, we want to remain in our situation. We are enjoying in our situation. We want, okay, the Prabhuji is telling us right, okay, the thing is right, but we don't want to come out from our situation. The reasons may be different, emotional setbacks or whatever. So, what we can do in that situation?
We need to pray to Krishna to give us the ability to tolerate the situation and come out of the situation. We may not be able to come out of it. If you deserve to experience some unpleasant circumstance, we will go through that experience. But the difference between a devotee and a materialistic person is that a devotee can effortlessly, or at least with some effort, be able to tolerate the unpleasant circumstance without getting overwhelmed, without getting unduly affected, without getting unduly depressed or demotivated or becoming dysfunctional. Okay. But other people will get affected. Because we know it's a temporary phase. Agama apayino anityaha. It is temporary, it comes and it goes. So it is anitya. So we have that knowledge, so we will be able to tolerate, and we need to pray to Krishna to give us that ability. We should depend on Krishna's blessings and mercy. Make sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, but if the person don't want to come out from the situation, so what?
Don't want to come out, Krishna will not interfere with that situation. Yeah. Maybe I didn't completely get your question, but if you don't want to come out, you can deal with it, no problem. Krishna will never interfere with our independence. If we personally prefer to enjoy on a material plane or to suffer on a material plane, Krishna will never stop us. Okay, do it. Whenever you are ready, you come to me. He'll wait. But for all reasonable reasons, for all logical reasons, it's better that we give up our attachment to that material situation, whether it is happiness or distress. Sooner or later, we may not be immediately doing it, but somewhere we have to do it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Yes, bro.
I have two questions. First is on the same equanimity in happiness and distress. Prabhuji, my question is, wasn't this concept of equipoise in happiness and distress make us emotionless towards ourselves and towards others? Because in our daily life, there are a lot of instances happens in the community of our relatives and devotee circles also. Like how we handle our emotions when any instance happens.
This will be addressed in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita, but now that you have asked, and it's a very important question also, Bhakti is not meant to make us emotionless. Philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is not meant to kill our emotions, but it is meant to channelize our emotions and guide our emotions in such a way that we don't become dysfunctional by being emotional. Got it? Who asked the question? We should not become dysfunctional by being emotional. Sometimes our emotions will make us not function properly, right? So we should have emotions. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said so many things. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Bhava. He's not only speaking about Buddha, means intelligence, intellectual understanding, philosophical understanding. He's also saying bhava, emotions. 10th chapter, 8th shloka. So we should have bhava, emotions also. We should have Buddha, intelligence also. But emotions must be reasonable emotions, not some material sentiments. Emotions must be guided emotions, guided by proper philosophy, okay, not having some material sentiments or becoming overly emotional and killing oneself or becoming dysfunctional. That's not the point. So when a devotee dies, for example, other devotees lament. They feel very bad. But the lamentation is not on a bodily plane. They feel bad because, oh, we missed the company of a nice devotee. His association was giving me so much inspiration and I missed that person. So that's the mood of a devotee's lamentation when another devotee departs. Okay. But in the heart of the hearts, devotee understands that this devotee who departed has done a lot of service. He is very sincere at chanting. He is very mature. He is very advanced devotee. Definitely he must have gone to Goloka Vrindavan or at least Vaikuntha. Or at least he must have attained another life where he can continue the practice of bhakti. That much confidence a devotee has. So there is no need for lamentation. Okay. But lamentation is only because you are missing the association of that person. So this is the understanding of a devotee. Devotee, ultimate understanding of any devotee is that Krishna is the supreme protector. There is absolutely no injustice in his judgment. Whether he is giving happiness or distress to a devotee on a material plane, ultimately Krishna is the supreme well-wisher. Therefore, I must trust his integrity and intentions always, and I should never doubt his plans. Let whatever decision Krishna wants to take, let him take. I accept this decision. And if it is causing some pain to me, yeah, I will tolerate it. Okay. So the tolerance of a devotee or equanimity of a devotee is based on complete faith in Krishna's intentions and integrity. I tolerate this material happiness and distress because it is Krishna. Krishna has sanctioned it. So bhakti is not a way of killing our emotions, but developing our emotions for Krishna. Okay. So when you develop that emotional bonding and loving bonding with Krishna, then Krishna will give us the ability to tolerate these temporary circumstances. Bhakti is not meant to make us hard-hearted. Bhakti is meant to make us soft-hearted. And in that soft heart, who should be present? Krishna should be present. And when we have emotions for Krishna within our heart, we will not misunderstand him, whatever he is orchestrating in our life. Okay, there is a sense of acceptance. Yes, let me accept whatever Krishna has decided for me. That acceptance is there. Makes sense?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one more question. In lot of verses, we see Arjuna is addressing Lord Shri Krishna with many different names. And similarly, Krishna also addressing Arjuna with many different names. So is there any specific purpose or hidden meaning?
Yes, we have been discussing, right? Krishna is called Hrishikesha because he's controller of senses. Now he has to control Arjuna's senses. You can see Bhagavad Gita Subodhini. I have given some notes in the shlokas what is the meaning of each name and what is the purpose of calling Krishna or Arjuna with that name at that moment. Okay.
Thank you
Next
very much.
question. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Next question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I please ask a question?
Yeah, I think the other devotees are waiting. They raised their hands.
Okay.
Yes, Anish Gupta Prabhu, Harshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, thank you very much for making us understand very important principles. Thank you. Prabhuji, we were mentioning about the duties, like this is your duty, then you should fight. Now, Prabhuji, we have heard like one is duty on the bodily platform and one on the spiritual platform.
Yes.
So, supposing we have a nature in which is said that it's kind of a Vaishya nature where you can do your work or your business nicely. But on spiritual platform, we are given instructions that you should read and you should understand and preach. So normally if our nature is more like passionate and running around for work is easy, but studying the scriptures and this is difficult. So how do we balance it, or what should be our priority?
It's simple, Prabhu. We all have certain natures or preferences or habits or skills, etc., etc. Okay, while living in this world. They may be material also, not a problem. But some of those attributes or facets that we have can be engaged in Krishna's service. They are called dovetailable qualities. And some facets of our personality or some habits or skills that we have, they cannot be engaged in Krishna's service. Okay. First, we need to differentiate between these two. If they cannot be engaged in Krishna's service, just leave them. Drinking alcohol. Is there any connection between drinking alcohol and serving Krishna? Give it up. Right? Smoking cigarette or doing this or that. Okay? Just give it up. But say you're a designer, you're a businessman, or you're a painter, or you're a writer, or you're a singer, or a dancer. All these skills and habits or preferences or natures that you have can be engaged in Krishna's service, isn't it? You can use it, no problem. Right?
Right. Thank you. But when we are given spiritual instructions and we are not able to follow them because of our conditionings, so then how do we overcome our lower natures and come to the point, no, I would like to follow, this is what my instructions our spiritual master has given. So how to focus on that more than that normal condition?
If you're unable to follow for some reasons, so we need to take help. We need to take support. Okay, we need to take help from senior devotees. Okay. Also, I was asked to read Bhagavatam, but I'm unable to read. Can you please help me? I'm supposed to chant attentively, but I'm getting spaced out. Can you please sit with me and chant? I'm unable to do this service. I'm a little stuck here. Can you please help me? If you're unable to do something, some spiritual activities, we need to take support from other devotees who are able to do those spiritual activities nicely. Hare Krishna. Next, Harshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, a follow-up question from the previous one, that when we are facing difficulty in some spiritual activity, we take help from some senior. But if we are struggling with some of our lower natures that cannot be right now be dovetailed in Krishna consciousness, we are struggling to give them up. What should we do?
Yeah, continue the struggle to give them up. So when our lower nature is troubling us, definitely that creates an obstacle in our bhakti. It could be envy or pride or greed or lust or whatever. If it's troubling us, we need to pray to Krishna. First thing is, we should sincerely desire to give it up. It all begins from there. If the desire itself is weak, for example, somebody is unable to control one's anger, for example, but he has a sincere desire to give it up. Because there is sincere desire, one day he will give it up. But the desire itself, chalta hai, gussa ho gaya to kya problem hai, kabhi kabhi. So if that is the attitude, then he will never grow. right? So it's natural for me. So one should have a sincere desire to overcome those shortcomings or lower natures. First. Second key, just desire is not sufficient. We should endeavor also. We should put some effort also. Say, I have a tendency to become so, angry. So what am I doing to control my anger? So desire should be followed by endeavor. Just our desire and endeavor are not sufficient. We should offer prayer, right? Prayer. We need the divine support also. Desire, prayer, endeavor. 3 keys to do anything, to achieve anything. Okay.
So, how to intensify this desire? If we have the desire, but it's not so deep that I can praise extremely.
Again, I'll go back to the 2 basic solutions that I have given before also in one answer. So we need to regularly hear Harikatha, regularly hear the scriptures. They will induce good desires in us, and they will maintain good desires in us, and they will fulfill the good desires also. Regular Shravanam and Kirtanam will create spiritual desires, maintain spiritual desires, and fulfill spiritual desires. 3 things. Okay. And one more thing, we need to also be with devotees who desire is strong. Our desire may be weak, their desire is strong. Okay, thank you. Kanchana Varana Mataji.
Prabhuji, this was just a follow-up question. My original question was at the end of the lecture, you mentioned this line that when we are spiritually inclined, we are secure. Can you please elaborate on this so that we can understand what it means with some example or something? Can you just elaborate on this line, please?
Yes. In this material world, there are so many material insecurities and fears. I think you don't need any explanation for that. Right? So to come out of all those material insecurities, and develop a sense of security, to come out of all material insecurities and develop a sense of security, we need to have spiritual inclinations. We need to practice spiritual life. We need to read Shastra. We need to chant the holy names of Krishna. We need to worship Krishna. So that will keep us secure in life. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Next, Kanchana Varnavataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, in the Purport of 37 and 38, this last line it is written, obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound.
Correct. So, you want me to explain that? Okay. So, Arjuna felt a sense of obligation towards Drona. And not only that, all the family members, all the members on the battlefield. Okay. So, Krishna says that what's the point of maintaining that kind of sense of obligation, a relation with someone who is not up to the mark? So, if the result is good, your obligation is fine. Your relationship is good. Relationship is worth maintaining. But if the result is not good, no point maintaining it. That's the point. Does it make sense? Does it answer the question? Or Arjuna is unnecessarily feeling a sense of obligation or emotion towards Bhishma, Drona, and Duryodhana, whatever, all the relatives. But this kind of obligation will only lead to destruction. If you leave them out of a sense of obligation that they are your elders or some friendship that they are your relatives, if you just leave them without killing, then what will happen? Duryodhana will become the king. He will rule the citizens in a nonsensical way, and there is only destruction. But if you kill them without keeping any obligations, if you just kill them, then you will have Yudhishthir sitting on the throne. Okay. And there will be righteous rule.
Thank you, Rajan. I just had a follow-up question. You said that we have to read and chant regularly, but I had this question that we read regularly, we try to read, So how to do it effective reading? Because I feel that if we make notes, at least I feel that it is tedious if I make notes to read them all or lectures to go through all the notes. So how to effective reading so that we can apply it in our life?
Actually, you're asking something that requires 2-3 hours to explain. How to effectively read. It cannot be given in a small 2-3 minutes of answer. Maybe I can just suggest one thing. You can read this book, The Art of Studying and Teaching Scriptures. In that, half the book is about art of studying scriptures, how to read nicely. It's there on Amazon, you can see. The Art of Studying and Teaching Scriptures. First 4 chapters are about studying and self-study. Last 2 chapters are about teaching. Okay, you will get all the tips. Small book. You can just read in one day also. Small book, personal experience kind of thing. Okay. My answer is there in that book. Anandita, thank you. Anandita Jahnava Mataji. Mataji, we are unable to hear you. You're not audible.
Hi, Krishna.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody has asked the question that if somebody, I don't know, I missed the question part. If somebody doesn't want to give up the nature, then Krishna will not help. Recently, I've heard from in a lecture that for devotees, the shloka is Tesham Evanu Kampartha. And for all general people, Krishna is like their witness. He's their like a witness, and he sanctions everything or anything, whatever they want. So, is it so that if I, being a non-devotee, want anything or everything, I will get by Krishna? And if I am trying to be a devotee, I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will give me only that which I should have, and other things I should not have.
Yes, correct.
Even if I don't want it.
Yes. Basically, Krishna says in the
Then
9th chapter, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Means I supply whatever my devotees lack and I preserve whatever they have. But there is a deeper meaning to this point. Yogakshem Vahamyaham. He will give whatever we lack if it helps us in bhakti. He will preserve whatever we have only if it is favorable to our bhakti. But if he thinks that whatever we have is not favorable to bhakti, he will take it away from us. So we are so rich, so wealthy, and we are unable to focus on bhakti. So Krishna will make us poor. Focus on bhakti. It's like when kids are playing with toys, playing with mobile constantly, not studying. What does the mother do? She takes away the mobile, you just focus on your study. Same thing Krishna also does. Right? And if
Srimad Bhagavatam 8.8 Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8 says the same thing. When I show special favor on a devotee,
correct.
then I
Okay, thank you. We'll meet tomorrow again. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, we'll meet tomorrow. Now that we have some freedom to just go slow and then have more Q&A, so we can...
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the explanation on the key points and the important and significant principles of Bhagavad Gita presented in the 2nd chapter. Prabhu, I have a request. I don't have a question, but I have a request that for tomorrow, can we start from 7 o'clock? Is it possible for you?
7 to 9, right?
7 to 9:30, Prabhu, if it is possible only. If it suits you, Prabhu.
No, 7 o'clock suits better for me, mainly because I feel very sleepy now at 9:30.
Yes.
So actually, 2.5 hours don't suit me. Already my throat is gone. I already have some 3-4 hours of sessions during the day. Today also I gave 2 classes. Yesterday I gave 2 classes, and yours is 3rd class. So considering that, I cannot speak 2.5 hours.
Okay. No issues,
okay.
Prabhuji.
But
Then
7
we
is
can.
good.
Then we can start on 7 as per your comfortability, Prabhu. Then okay, 7 to 9 we can do for tomorrow
Thank you.
only. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dana Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
I hope other devotees are okay with 7 o'clock. You're okay with 7 o'clock? I can do 7:30 to 9:30, not a problem. Thank you. Hare Krishna.